Hi everybody, this is Joel Kennedy with Kennedy Violins. So today is a play along video, and last week the dart chose, the magic dartboard here, it chose Song of the Wind, which is in Suzuki Book 1. So every week we throw the dart, we find out what song we're playing, and today's Song of the Wind in Suzuki Book 1. Okay, so I'm going to play through it really quick, and then I'm going to put the metronome on and play it with the metronome. Okay. So, from the beginning. Okay, so now let's put the metronome on and see what it has to say about things. Okay, so I have the metronome on 86 beats per minute. So that means that the quarter note goes by every time the metronome is beating. And we have eighth notes, which are worth half as much as the quarter notes. So that means that we're going to be playing two notes for every beat. Da, 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 da. Okay, so here we are from the beginning with the metronome. Rest. 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 Okay, so now let's talk about some strategies on how to play this really well. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at is the time signature. So we are in 2/4. So that means that the quarter note, that's the bottom number of the time signature, that 4, the quarter note gets the beat, and the 2 means how many beats are in a measure. So there's 2 beats in a measure, and the quarter note gets the beat. Okay, so let's talk about the key signature really quick. So we have 3 sharps in our key signature. That's F sharp, C sharp, G sharp. Okay, that's the key of A major. So what does that mean for our left hand? Well, it's going to affect 2 fingers in particular in this song. So it's going to affect our first finger and our second finger on a couple different strings. So the F sharp is going to affect our first finger on the E string. So the natural position for the first finger on the E string is actually low, where you touch the nut on the violin, right? So that's F natural. So this is F sharp. F sharp just happens to be the natural position, the position of your first finger. The position of your first finger on all the other strings is here. G, D, A. But when I put it on the E, that's not a natural, that's a sharp. So it's kind of the weird things about violin. But anyways, we have an F sharp, so now our first finger goes in the same spot it does for all the other strings, which actually is pretty easy. So instead of, okay, so second finger on the A string is going to be our C sharp. So normally a C natural, the natural position for the second finger is low. It's going to be touching that first finger. And there's going to be a gap between the second finger and the third finger. But since we're playing a C sharp, now we're going to raise that second finger, so it's going to be touching our third finger, right? So remember, the natural position for the second finger on the violin is going to be low on that A string. But since it's a sharp, now we're raising it. So instead of, okay, so that covers our time signature, our key signature. Let's talk about our articulation for a little bit. We have dots below the notes. So if the dots were on the side of the notes, that would change the metronomic length of the note. But the dots are not on the side, they're on their bottom. So generally when dots are on the bottom or the top, that affects how you play the notes. So that means these notes are short and detached. So it's staccato, right? So short, but on the string. Spiccato with a P would be off the string. Okay, so staccato on the string. Okay, so if those were legato, or they're just, longer or whatever, it would be, or just regular détaché, it'd be, right? But they're not, they're staccato. So the most important thing with staccato is make sure that you stop your bow in between the notes. So you are deciding how long the notes are, right? So you pick your spot in the bow. I'm going to play in the middle of the bow, right? I'm going to play in the middle of the bow. And then each note is going to be about this long. So my down bows and my up bows are exactly the same length. So you are in control of how you play the notes. So as long as you're in control, then they'll all sound the way you want them to, and they'll be consistent. So even if you speed it up, or as long as you practice slowly and you stop your bow, then you'll get it. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the articulation. So let's just talk about one little thing. In the third measure of the first line, you'll see that one and then a line. What does that mean? It means that they want you to keep your first finger down while you play all those other notes. So Suzuki is trying to teach you the value of keeping your fingers down. So I'm going to keep that first finger down on the E. So bum, 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 bum. If I didn't keep that first finger down, it would look like this. Bum, 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 right? But I'm going to go dum, bum, 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 right? So keep that first finger down. And the reason is because that you keep a frame in your hand instead of thinking about like this. I'm just going around the violin with my fingers all over the place. No. You got a frame that's going around your instrument. So keeping fingers down is usually a very good thing. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. You have an alternate fourth finger that you could play. So in the second line, third measure, they've got a 4 on the bottom and an open on the top. So remember that's an E. So you can play an E with open E or with the fourth finger on the A. So or, right? My suggestion, always practice it with the open string first and then practice it with the fourth so you get it in tune. And if you're trying to be better at the violin, use the fourth finger as much as you can. Don't shy away from the fourth finger. I know it's a weak finger, but it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you never use the fourth, it's always going to be weak and you'll never want to use it and it's going to get weaker and weaker. So just try to use your fourth finger and then it won't be weak anymore. Then it'll be a strong finger, right? No big deal. Okay, so that's about it for this song. Now I'm going to throw a dart and we're going to pick the song for next week. So we have our dart, we have our weapon of choice for the day. Okay, we're going to throw it and see where the gods of violin play-alongs are doing today. Okay, we are Book 4, Concerto. It's a concerto. First movement, Vivaldi. So, whatever Vivaldi concerto there is in Book 4, the first movement, that's what we're going to play next week. So guys, I hope this video was helpful, and hopefully we'll see you next week or just on another video. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day. Happy practicing.